Hey guys, how is it going? It's your boy Gaza9919 here, and you join me today in the newest member to like the family, I guess, Ford wise, and it is of course the Mark 2.5 Ford Focus. So this model in particular is the 1.8 TDCi style. It's quite nippy for what it is. Gets quite good MPG. At the moment it's on about 35.4 miles to the gallon, which ain't too great for these things, but we have recently changed the oil on it and filter. Unfortunately we didn't do a video on that, but it was in need of a bit of a service. We managed to pick this car up for £750 off a good friend of mine, James. Another thing is, this isn't actually my car, so it's not going to be on the channel as much. This is my dad's car, but of course with it being a Ford, I just had to do a video on it for the channel, because I'm quite sure that all you guys who watch most of my videos, you must love Fords to watch the Fiesta stuff so much. So this model in particular comes with AC. Unfortunately it doesn't have the front window emitter, only has the rear. But I mean, styling wise, to say it's 2009, it's still quite modern for what it is. To say from if you drive a 2003, 2004 car, the styling is come miles really, I guess. Like it's still Ford, you know, they've still got the plastic trim and that. But I don't know, it feels a bit better put together than the older ones. And just with the needles and that, and this has a interesting feature on here as well, which if you go into the menu mode here, that's how you access it. You can actually set the steering to sport, and on a 1.8 TDCi, I think that's quite good how you've got like a little sports setting. So they do want you to have a bit of fun in it. Another thing I'd like to point out is these mirrors. These are lovely big mirrors. If there's one thing that does a car justice, it's decently sized mirrors. And also the steering wheel with the 4-spoke is very nice. It's leather and it feels really good in the hand. To be fair though, if I could request anything from the steering wheel, it would be nice if it was a bit chunkier, but it still feels quite good to grip. And it's also a shame that it doesn't have the controls on the steering wheel, but to make up for that, I guess they've got it on the stalks and there, but it's just a bit more convenient having it here really. Now I must say with these, the seats are unbelievably comfy. So now we've come into the back seats, and I think this is an area where a lot of people overlook, but this is actually quite a nice place to be in the back here. You know, you've got plenty of space, there's plenty of room for 3 people in the back, where sometimes when you find in the back it's got 3 seats, but you struggle to get 3 people in there. But there's plenty of room here, what with the Focus's wider body. And legroom is amazing as well. If you look here, I've got so much legroom to play about with, and when I was sat in the driver's seat I had plenty of legroom for the pedals and stuff, so they've really come a long way. And also another thing to mention, I don't know if you can make it out on the camera, but these tinted windows, I think these are actually from factory. Don't quote me on that, you can probably see a bit better there, but they're nicely tinted, and it just gives the car an all-round better look. Now people have mixed opinions about this next thing, because the next thing I want to talk about is the wheels, and they are like the sort of fake alloy steely wheels, if you know what I mean. But my dad's painted them black, and I must confess they look pretty darn good. I mean, to be fair, don't get me wrong, you can't beat a set of alloys, but these are really, really nice. For my next point, I think we can all agree on this, that with these Focuses, Ford made a major, how do I say this, major balls up. Because what they basically did was had the bonnet catch, and they thought, now this idea works perfect. How about we just don't do it at all and use the stupid key behind the badge? Now it's irritating because any of you that will know, if this has broke on you, there is no other way of getting into that bonnet. You need the key. Well, there is another way of getting into it, but you've got to break into the bonnet, which isn't really ideal. You don't really want to be breaking into your own car. So the idea is it's quite a long process, because I've actually had to do this on my dad's, but where the grill is, behind the badge, is like 4 plastic sort of, those plastic clips where they sort of had the screw in. And what you've got to basically do is you've got to get a flathead screwdriver, poke that to one of them, hammer them off and break all 4 of them. And then when you think that's over, there's 2 more plastic clips attached to the bumper, which you've got to wedge your screwdriver in between the grill and the bumper, but you've also got to have somebody holding the bonnet up, otherwise you can't access it, and then you've got to knock them both out. And then when you've done that, you've got to pull the grill out, and if you're lucky, the key mechanism will still work when you push it like sort of closer, but if you're really unlucky, it won't work, and then you've got to get a flathead screwdriver and try and mess about with the system to knock the lever left and then right to open the bonnet. And it is just, it's such an awkward job, and this could have been avoided so easily by just getting a bonnet catch. Now, another thing I've got to mention is absolutely amazing about this car, and I think it's one of its best perks, and that is the boot space, because the boot space in this is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You could fit a decent bit of luggage in there, you know, 2 bodies. I mean, that's just give you an example on size. I'm not a serial killer, I'm just giving examples on size. But anyway, yeah, it's quite a big boot. And also on these, you will also notice that with the key, it also has a double locking mechanism. So I think the first one is standard lock, and if you press it again, I think that's full on deadlock and immobilizer. This is what I was talking about earlier with the bonnet. We've had to use a separate key because obviously it's too much of a hassle to change the barrels out, because you've got to drill them, and I mean, for the sake of just having another key on your keys, I guess you're not that hard done by, really. Right then guys, so that is it for this video of looking at the Ford Focus Mark 2.5. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and maybe even hit that bell icon for notifications on future uploads. But until the next time guys, peace.